In this video, we are going to focus on sine rule. We'll look at how do you know that the question is asking us to use sine rule, and also how to use sine rule to find the missing distance or the missing angle, depends on the need of the question. So now let's look at the definition for sine rule. So according to math, sine rule is just a rule that can be used to solve a non-right-angled triangle. So this is another term that we have introduced, non-right-angled triangle. So if we can just do a review, a right-angled triangle is any triangle that has one angle equal to 90 degrees. So whenever we have this box angle here, this is a right-angled triangle. So the non-right-angled triangle is just the opposite of a right-angled triangle. So under non-right-angled triangle, no angle is equal to 90 degrees. So each angle can be any other number apart from 90 degrees. So if we have this triangle here with letters A, B, C. Now if we have, let's say if this angle is equal to 70 degrees, then here we have 60, then here we are going to get a 50. Then we can see that if we add the three angles, we are going to get the sum of 180. So even a non-right angled triangle must add up to 180. Now away from there, so the sine rule can be used to find the missing distance or the missing angle, given that the triangle is a non-right angled triangle. Okay, now let's review the formula for sine rule. And before we look at that formula, first there is the first step that you need to do as long as you are dealing with a sine rule. So the first one, we'll look at this distance corresponding with this angle A. This is the distance A. Then for this one, we are going to have distance B. Then here we are going to have distance C. And as you can see, each distance is denoted by its corresponding angle, but using a small letter. Then let's look at the formula for sine rule. We'll just look at the general formula for sine rule. So the formula is A, small letter A divided by sine capital letter A is equal to B over sine B is equal to C divided by sine C. So this is our general formula. Now, how do we put this formula into use? So let's look at the first example under sine rule. So we'll say we have this triangle. Okay, we have our area here, P, Q, then 16.7 centimeters, 12.5 centimeters, one angle of 112. Now the question is find angle P. So angle P is what we are solving for. Now let's look at what we have. How many distances do we have? So we have two distances. We have 16.7 and 12.5. Then how many angles do we have? We only have one. So for you to apply the sine rule, you need to look at the data that you have. So if you are given two distances and one angle, then as to calculate the second angle, sine rule must be applied. Now let's look at the first step that we should do. So here we are going to have small letter r, then here we are going to have our Q, here our P. Then from there, let's apply the formula. So the formula will look at what do we need. So we need angle P. So this angle P is corresponding with this distance P. So we'll say it's P over sine capital letter P is equal to. So the first pair must contain of what you are solving for. Then the other pair, when choosing the other pair, make sure you select a pair where there is an angle and the distance. So in our case, we are going to select the pair of that contains the r, since we have the distance r and also its corresponding angle. So here we are going to have now r over sine r. Then from there, let's continue. So p is the distance. So the distance, we have it. So now we can substitute the distance. So 12.5 centimeters over sine p, since we are solving for the angle p. Then what is our distance? R. Distance r is 16.7 centimeters over sine. What is its angle? 12. So I mean 112. So we can cross multiply. 16.7 centimeters times sine p is 16.7 centimeters. Sine p is equal to sine 112 times the 12.5 centimeters. So we can divide by 16.7 centimeters, even here by 16.7 centimeters. So we can now divide. Let's do math. So sine 112 times the 12.5, then divided by 16.7. So I'm getting 0.69399891. From there, we need to shift the sine to this side. So we have p is equal to sine inverse of 0.69399891. So now we can go on the calculator, shift sine of this number. I'm getting about 43.9 degrees. So this is our final answer for this question. Okay, let's try another example. Now the question this time is find angle B. So that is our question. So we are solving for this angle here. So we want to find this angle here. Now what are we going to do? So let's look at the first step. So the first step is we need to indicate the distances according to their angles. So here we have distance B. Then here we have A, here we have C. Now from there, let's look at can we find the angle B using the sine rule? No. So what we are going to do is first we are going to find this angle. We can find this angle C, since we have the distance that is corresponding to the same angle as C. So let's begin now. So say C divided by sine C is equal to, we use this pair of A, so A over sine A. So you need to make sure that only one part should be missing, the one that you are calculating for. So the C is the distance for C. We can see is 18 over sine C is equal to, the distance for A is 17 centimeters over the angle is this one, 63. So we can now cross multiply. So 17 centimeters sine C is equal to sine 63 times 18 over 17 centimeters over 17 centimeters. So sine C is equal to, so we can now calculate. So sine 63 times 18 is equal to this divided by 17. So I'm getting 0.943418672. Then we move the sign to the right side. So C is equal to sine of inverse is equal to 0.943418672. So C, we can now shift sine this. I'm getting about 70.6 degrees. So this is the angle here, 70.6. Now the question is, we are solving for angle B. So after we have these two angles, we can now use that principle of a triangle adds up to 180. So say B plus 63 degrees plus 70.6 degrees is equal to 180. So we can now add plus C. So plus 70.6 is 133.6 degrees is equal to 180. So we'll move this to the right side. B is equal to 180 minus 133.6. So we can do math. So our final answer is 46.4 degrees. So that is how you can find a missing angle. So if the angle that you are trying to solve does not have its corresponding distance, what you have to do is you need to find the other angle. Then from there you add the given two angles and you subtract from 180. Therefore you get the angle under consideration. So to review, under sine rule, whenever you are solving for an angle, you are going to be given two distances. So two distances and one angle. Then from there you proceed by finding the other missing angle. Okay, let's try another example. Okay, so this time so I have x, y, z. Then we have numbers like 12 centimeters. And then here we will have 30 degrees. Then what else? So also here we will have 62 degrees. So 62 degrees. Okay, now the question is find xy. So find a distance xy. So let's look at the first step. So the first step here, we are going to have small letter y, here small letter x, here we have small letter z. Then let's look at what are we solving for. We are solving for xy. So what letter is on xy is z. So it's z over sine z is equal to, then we need to choose the pair where there is the distance and the angle. So it's y over sine y. So let's proceed. Z is what we are solving for, over its angle is sine 62 is equal to y, the distance for y, this one, so it's 12 centimeters over sine 30. So if we cross multiply, we have sine 30, z is equal to sine 62 degrees times 12 centimeters. Then we can divide by sine 30, even here by sine 30. So we have z is equal to, so I recommend whenever you are dividing stuff like this, so make sure you put them in parentheses. So we have sine 62 times the 12 divided by sine 30. So I'm getting about 21.2 centimeters. So this is my distance. Okay, let's have one more question for this lesson. So under this one we are okay, let's say we have this triangle here. Okay, then here we have 98. Okay, 10.6 millimeters here. Then here we have 42F. Then D, E. Okay, so the question is, we are solving for find distance x. Find x. So let's look at x now. So x is corresponding with d. So here we're going to have small letter d, small letter e, and here small letter f. So if we are to solve d, so it's d divided by sine d is equal to, then here we are going to get e over sine e. Now what are we going to do here? We don't have the angle for d. Now the good part is we can find the angle for d since we have the other two distances. So let's find angle d. So d plus 42. Whenever you're given two angles, you can find by adding them and subtract from 180. So 42 plus 98 is equal to 180. So if we have this is 140 is equal to 180. So if we collect the like terms, if this shift here, we get 180 minus 140. Then our d is equal to 40. So the angle here is 40. This is the angle that we are going to use. So d is x, is what we are solving for. Then over sine 40 is equal to 10.6 millimeters over sine 98. So we cross multiply. X is equal to sine 40 times 10.6 millimeters over sine 98 over sine 98. So if we cancel, so now let's do this. So sine 40 times 10.6 over sine 98. So I'm getting about 6.9 millimeters. So that is the distance for x. So to review what the sine rule states whenever we are solving for the distance. So what you need to know is, for you to know that you are using sine rule to find a distance, you are going to be given one distance. So only one distance is needed whenever you're using sine rule. And to angle, you may have two 2 angles or 3 angles, then even if you have 3 angles, only 2 angles are going to be applied, so the third angle cannot be applied. So that's a key point for sine rule. Then that's it for this video. If you have some lessons or topics that you may want me to make videos on, please feel free to comment in the comment section below. And for those that lives in Zambia, specifically in Dora, feel free to leave your comments if you want physical learning tuitions, or maybe if you want online, feel free to comment. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.